The Suzuki Bandit 1200, aka Suzuki GSF 1200, was at the time the second largest displacement of all the Suzuki motorcycles. Released from 96 to 2006, and this was not a sports bike but a sports tourer. So it had, the naked version had 106 horsepower, and the S model, my model, had a little bit less, so 98 horsepower, and that's the full fared or half fared version. And the bike itself, smooth handling, massive power, excellent capabilities on the back country roads and on the track for daily commutes. And I know because I use the bike for almost everything. So I have used it on the track, I've used it the smaller roads, the back country roads, and I commute on the bike daily. So great bike for the money, absolutely. You cannot go wrong with the Bandit. On top of that, it's a very budget-friendly bike, and it is a parts bin bike, but some say it's a Frankenstein, but in a good way, because Suzuki, what they did was that they took all the proven, reliable parts from the earlier motorcycles and from different motorcycles in their lineup, and just took the good bits and bolted them onto the simple steel tubular chassis, and it works so good. And that is essentially the Bandit.
Hello, hi. My name is Gabriel, and this is my bike. It's a 1997 Suzuki Bandit, and I have had this bike now for like 14 months, so I really enjoy it. It's a beautiful bike, it's a simple bike, and it's an analog bike. I really like this old school, muscle bike with carburetors and big old engine. And this is a Bandit 1200S, so it's not crazy, but it's fast enough for me. It's really fast enough for like everybody, because it's crazy now when you have bikes with 220 brake horsepower. It's mental. Where can you actually use that power? I don't know, I cannot really use all of this power as well, but this is more attainable. This is more controllable. You can still most of the time maybe use 70-80% of the horsepower on some good abandoned roads, and you can really open it up. But it's crazy. So I like analog bikes. I really like to tinkering with stuff. I really love the mechanics. I'm not afraid of dealing with mechanical stuff or problems, because I enjoy learning throughout the process, and enjoy building up my skill level. Because if you are skillful, why should you be worried about the high mileage? Because you can fix it yourself. That's my philosophy. I'm not. This bike has done almost like 80,000 kilometers. So most people around me says, yeah, that's a lot, but for me, it's a 1.2 liter engine. It's a big engine. So you have cars doing 200,000 miles or like 320,000 kilometers. So it's a little bit different, but 80,000 kilometers, come on. And if something happens, it's easy to work with it. It's just a couple of screws, and then you can lift out the engine, or maybe just remove the petrol tank, and then you have quite good access. And so I like it. And this is my first bike. I took my license, it was 14 months ago, so I bought this bike just a couple of weeks before I took my license. So I've been riding quite a lot, and enjoying it. I'm using this for, you know, my commute to work and all of my, because I work on two different places, but I have three workplaces, but I only use this for commute between two different places, so two different workplaces. So yeah, so I really enjoy it, and it's a good bike, and Suzuki did a brilliant job building this platform, because yeah, it's a part spin. Yeah, the engine came from the 80s from the Suzuki GSXR 1100, and it's a brilliant engine, reliable, strong beast of an engine, really good. It's a good torque engine. I mean, it's like, you know, riding a motorcycle with automatic. I mean, you don't really need to shift as much because you have all of that torque that is just bringing you along without any problems or issues. So good torque engine. So yeah, I'm just wanted to share my thoughts about this bike and why I really like it. And it's a nice platform. It's quite, I mean, 1200 cc for the first bike wasn't my plan. I looked at something around 600, and but then I stumbled across this one, and the price was amazing. It was like $1,600 US, so it was cheap, and my budget was like 2,500 US. So yeah, when I saw this, and the sound of it and everything was amazing. It was like, wow, all of this muscle for that small amount of money. I'm in. But I'm not a crazy speed maniac, so I ride quite, you know, I ride with good manners, because I love myself and I love living, but I really like riding as well. So for me, it's like being on that balance. I like to ride fast, but not crazy fast. I love to ride, you know, in corners, and really love to ride in the mountains, but I have limits. So, and this bike is helping me retaining that. And it's a, you know, if something happens, it's on me. That's how I see it. I mean, you can blame cars and stuff. Yeah, there are crazy drivers everywhere, but if you take away the responsibility from that driver and put it on yourself, then you owe yourself 100%. That means that I need to see miles ahead what the other driver is going to do. And it's quite difficult sometimes, but it's easier to control myself than control, you know, somebody else, because that's difficult. It's very difficult, especially when you're riding. I cannot control the driver, but I can control how I react to that driver and react to life's circumstances. You know, foresee everything. So yeah, this is my take on the Suzuki Bandit, and it's a wonderful machine. I really like it, and yeah, 1997, so it's quite old now, but I really like it because it's a fixable machine. It's a machine you can actually restore yourself without any gadgets and stuff. So it's a good, simple, raw beast of a machine. So take care, and that's my thoughts about the Suzuki Bandit. So have a good one. Bye bye.